y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am DripInJoy, aka Nene Joy, and today we're going to be dyeing a 5x5 HD closure. I am dyeing 2 because I'm getting ready to create some wigs. So of course we're going to need the dye. I got a 40 color dye, and I also got the powder. I also got to be spray. I will be spraying the laces. This does help so that the powder or the bleach don't bleach into the knots too much. So it helps kind of like keep it in a place where I want it to be. So right now I am spraying the lace so that I can go ahead and get ready to bleach them. I am bleaching both as I stated before, so I am going to go in with a 1 full cup of powder, and the other cup will be a half. So depending on how many laces you're dyeing, or how much, if you're dyeing a frontal lace or a full lace, it would depend on how much powder you need. So for this 2 lace, I don't need that much, so I put a full cup and a half. Now I do take the capsule of the dye and I add about 2 or 3 drops of the dye. Now you could need some more depending on, if the dye is not as smooth as it needs to be. Now, when it comes to adding your dye, I rather do it like this because you won't add too much. You can go ahead and keep adding as you go. Like if you need more, you can add as you go. So if you go ahead and pour all of that, and then you're gonna need more powder. Either way you go, if you put too much dye, you will need more powder. If you put too much powder, you will need more dye. So as you go in, you go ahead and make sure that as you're stirring it, you want to make sure that you get like a pasty texture of the dye. You don't want it to be liquidy, because if you did it till it has liquid, it can definitely bleach into the hair very fast, and not only your knots will be dyed, but the hair will also get dyed too. So just make sure that you're keeping it at like a pasty kind of texture so that it can go through. Now I did create a video if you over bleach your knots, because it can happen. If you over bleach your knots, you can just go ahead and go in with the dye of the hair color, and you can go ahead and go over the parts where you didn't want to be bleached with the dye. So that would help it bring back its natural look. Sometimes I have to do that because sometimes I do end up doing something and forgetting that these are dyeing. So I will go back with the dye color and go ahead and give it that natural look. I like that anyway because it gives it like a little bit more natural effect with the knots. But some people like their hair over bleached sometimes because of the naturalness it gives, but it depends on your client and who they are. But you don't want to have the hair bleached. That's very, very, very tacky. It's like you can tell when the hair is over bleached. So to get a perfect bleach, just make sure that you're making sure that your cream is at a pasty texture, and also making sure that you're leaving it there for a certain amount of time. So how long I left mine was for about 20 to 30 minutes. That will give it a full effect, and it really depends on your knots, because some people have bigger knots that it can take a while for it to dye its color. So it really depends on the knots of your lace of how long you want to leave that dye there for, because I can say 20-30 minutes for my lace, but your lace maybe be 45 minutes. It depends on how thick your knots are. So these knots wasn't that thick. They were, pretty in the middle. I won't say they were too small or too big. They were just like right in the middle. So it took about 20 to 30 minutes to go ahead and get these knots dyed. Now some parts was definitely over bleached because of how thick the knots was, that it was taking a long time to dye. I had to go over it with some dye just to give it that natural effect. So like I said, depending on your knots, if you have smaller knots, the easier it is for you to go ahead and dye your lace without having to go back and use the dye color to correct it. So if you have smaller knots, it will be way much easier than bigger knots to dye your knots. So yeah, after we go ahead and spread these 2, I will leave it there for like 20 to 30 minutes. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're still watching. Support your girl while we go ahead and finish this look. Hey, baby. Catch y'all at the end. And this is how it comes out. Voila. Voila, voila, voila. Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more videos later.